Hello and welcome to this episode of Microchips. In this episode we'll be looking at a Rotel RVC-240 and a Harrier CBX that I bought off eBay. I will hopefully be restoring these and maybe modifying them in the future. So let's have a look at the eBay listing for the Rotel 240. As you can see, it was a buy it now for $49.99. Probably a little bit expensive, but they're not going very cheap these days, and this one definitely is in outside, seems to be in quite a bad way. It does say it powers on, and there's pictures of it powered on, and there's pictures with a SWR meter. And here we have the Harrier CBX that I bought that looks a lot nicer. Comes with original microphone, power lead, bracket, thumb screws. And it does say it does work. And I paid £40 for this plus some shipping. So let's have a look at the Rotel 240. And as you can see, it's very dirty and very scratched. But that can easily be fixed. I did find out that Knights do spray paint of the exact colour for this case, so I will be getting some of that and I will be restoring the case. It come with a instruction manual that looks like it was covered in oil, a SWR meter, and it comes with the original microphone, but very dirty and falling apart. Looks like it's had a lot of use. So let's get to the CBX, and the CBX looks a lot nicer. Cabinet looks in good condition. A few age-related marks here or there. Considering it's 40 years old, the front doesn't look too bad. There's the odd there's marks here and there, but you expect that. Comes with a power lead. And it comes with what I can tell is the original Harrier microphone, which looks in a lot better condition than the Rotel one. So anyway, starting off with the Rotel, I've taken the knobs off because I've just found that they're covered in oil. So I've put some gloves on and we're going to thoroughly clean this radio. But first, let's have a look inside this radio, see what it's like inside. See if it's bad on the inside as it is on the outside. And lifting the top off reveals some dirt inside, looks like a little bit of oil ingress. But all in all, the circuit board looks good. So we'll take the front panel screws off whilst we're at it. Because I'm going to thoroughly clean this front panel because it seems to have been sat in oil. And as you can see, the bottom is just as bad. But nothing a little bit of rubbing down and a bit of spray paint won't solve. And a look inside the radio, and everything seems in good condition inside. Looks like it's never been touched. So it just looks like it's cosmetic. Everything looks original, nothing looks tampered with. 1974 output transistor. So let's get to cleaning it. Take off the rest of the front panel screws. Let's get this front panel thoroughly cleaned. Let's have a look at the inside of the front. Everything looks good under there. Little bit of dirt, but nothing too bad. Nothing looks tampered with on the back. Everything looks nice and original. Looks like it's never been messed with. So that's a good win. Nice to see that there are some radios still out there that haven't been fiddled with. So let's get to cleaning the front. So we'll start off with the knobs. So I've drowned them in foam cleaner, which acts as a very good degreaser. And I'll just clean them off with a brush in a nice pot of foam cleaner. That should do that quite nicely. The channel change knob's seen a little bit of wear, but that's not too bad. All the rest of the knobs seem okay for the age. Just giving him an absolute thorough cleaning at this time. And then we'll get them dried off. Now onto the front panel. So I'm not mucking about this time. It's going to get absolutely soaked with foam cleaner. And it's going to get a proper going over with the brush to work all the dirt out of the areas. Because, as I keep saying on my videos, a little bit of cleaning goes a long way. You can transform the look of a radio just by giving it a little polish. I don't know if you can see the colour of the foam cleaner that's in the pot, but that is just off the front. So yes, it was very dirty. No idea where this has been sat, but from what I can see it's been sat near some oil, because unfortunately the instruction book is covered in oil. But you can see by the colour of the foam cleaner in the pot that it was absolutely filthy. So what I've done now is I've taken it to the sink and I've rinsed it off with water. Now we'll dry it off. And this should hopefully sort out the front of the radio. Still scratches here and there, but at least it's clean. It wasn't listed as in pristine condition, so it's fine. It'll do for what I want it to do. Now the next challenging part is going to be the covers. I don't have the spray paint yet, so that will come in a future video. But there we have it. Front is 100 times better than what it was. At least it's safe to touch with my hands now without getting whatever it was that was all over it. they're happy with that. Now for the top cover, there's not much we can do with it apart from give it a clean for the moment. So as always, we'll give it a scrub with the brush, and then we'll give it a rub down. I think a little bit of TLC with a spray can and a nice rub down. This should get this back to looking good. I think once this cabinet's sprayed up, it should take away from the damage that's on the front, or the scratches that's on the front. At the moment you don't see the scratches on the front because the case is in such a bad condition. But yeah, it's definitely been well used. Yeah, not too bad. It could be worse, it could have holes drilled in it. Now onto the hard one, the bottom cover with whatever that is. So first we'll try and get it off with foam cleaner, and no, doesn't want to know. So I think we're going to have to be a little bit more brutal. No, it's not coming off with foam cleaner, so it looks like it's going to have to be alcohol. So here we have some alcohol, some 99.9%. We'll soak a cloth and we'll let it soak into whatever that is, and we'll see if it starts to bring it off. So plenty of alcohol, absolutely plenty. Let's get it soaked in. And it looks like it's starting to move. So it's just going to have to be a little bit of hard work and lots of alcohol. And hopefully it should get rid of whatever that is. So it does look like it's coming off. Any that remains we can get off when we respray the cabinet, but for now it's looking good. So let's reassemble. And have a look at our now clean radio. There, looks better already. Of course, we have to make sure that all the knobs line up. Because there's nothing worse than having them not lined up. And there we have it. Last but not least, the channel change. Looking better already. So let's power it up and see what happens. And sure enough, it comes on. We get movement on the S meter, which is nice. Shows that things are working. And we are transmitting with a nice 4 watts. See whether it's receiving. Yes, and it's receiving. Low power seems to be kind of okay. So, all good. Nothing immediately broken that I can see. RX and TX lights work. So that's good. No need to look any further at this one just yet. Now on to the Harrier CBX. Now this one hopefully should just need a nice clean. So first we'll do an inspection inside. And everything looks good, apart from all the super glue around the front fascia screw holders. They look like they've had a hard time. I suppose they do get very brittle over age. But that's the only sign that somebody's been in here. $1909 output. And again, everything looks in place, nothing looks messed with. No obvious signs of tampering. Everything on the back of the board looks good. So let's gently try and get the front off. And we're starting to lose pieces of plastic already. And the insides of the front of the radio look good. So let's gently clean the front up. Again, plenty of age-related marks, but nothing too bad. Some more pieces of plastic dropping off, so that we can find out where they go. Put them back on. But that seems to be good. Not sure what that is, whether it's super glue or... But we won't bother with that. It's not important just now. As always, we'll give the control knobs a nice clean. Not that it needs much cleaning, but you never know where these have been, so a little bit of care and attention now, and it makes it just that little bit nicer. There we are, all nice and clean. So here we have it powered up. It seems to be receiving. Let's check transmit. It seems to be transmitting. So on first power up, we can see that our TX light is out. So what I want to do is I want to replace them with LEDs. So I found a red and a green LED, because I might as well replace them both, or else one will be dimmer than the other. This component tester tells us the forward voltage. Once we know the forward voltage, we can put it into a calculator and work out the current and work out the resistor we need. So I won't be using that resistor that it suggests. I'll be using one that'll be a lot stronger, because I don't want these lights too bright. I just want them to glow nicely. So you can see red and green LEDs have different forward voltages. So we can place that onto an online calculator and we get the resistor value. Now I actually got the resistor values here, but I've actually upped them considerably from what it suggested. That LED's a bit dim, so I will change it for another red one. So first off, let's remove the old bulbs. What we'll need to do, we'll need to find out which is positive, which is negative, and then wire the LEDs and resistors up accordingly. Hopefully if we put strong enough resistors in, these LEDs should just glow nicely without being too bright. what we'll do once we've tested this, we'll encase this in shrink sleeving. Trying not to burn myself while soldering it or tinning the wires. Fortunately I didn't get this into camera shot, but I'm just attaching the resistor to the, I always get it mixed up, the anode of the LED. The anode being the positive. Tin all our wires up, makes it easier to solder. And don't forget to put the shrink sleeving on before you solder, because that'd be silly. Just had to quickly double check which was which, but there's all the shrink sleeving. I've just worked out that I put the wrong colour LED. That should have been the RX LED, which it now is the green one. So we'll put the TX LED on. Little bit fiddly. And there we have it. So for some reason the green is not coming on. TX works. We're getting nothing from the green. So back to the drawing board. So what I'd actually done is I'd actually wired it up the wrong way around, and there, as you can see, now the green LED is now working. Now because the radio was actually looking for a bulb, I've actually had to put load resistors that simulate a bulb is actually in place, because strange things were happening. The green light wasn't going out when it should have done. So what I've done is I've simulated an actual incandescent bulb by putting load resistors in, which fools the radio into thinking that it's got its original bulbs in. But there we've shrunk sleeved the connections, and we'll push the LEDs back into their homes. And let's have a look at the radio now, and there we have it. Nice green light, nice red light for transmit. Everything's working nicely. Now I did actually have to go back and change the value of the RX load resistor because it was getting a little bit warm, so I actually increased the value just a little bit, and that seemed to fix that problem. There we have it, an RX and TX lights now been converted to LED, so that should last a while. Another look at the front of the radio with its RX and TX lights. Everything's looking good. So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed this look at these vintage radios and the small repairs that I've done. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.